BananaLaser is sponsored tonight by Hairless Pets. Try one. They're delicious.
Earlier today at BananaLaser Studios.
Hey, this studio is great, man. I can't believe how big it is. There's so many rooms. Shit, what? Wait a minute. What's through here? What the fuck?
Who are you?
I'm the messenger of God.
Okay.
You're doomed if you stay here.
Why would you say that, dude? We're just trying to do a show.
This place is cursed. Cursed.
Cursed? Like that shitty Craven movie?
It's got a death curse.
What?
God sent me.
That's it. Goodbye, Kirsty, dude. Get the fuck out of here.
I got to warn you. You're doomed if you stay.
We have a show to do, asshole.
Go.
No thanks.
Go.
No thanks. Get out of here, asshole. We got a show to do, cursed or not.
Yeah, don't let the door hit you in the vagina on the way out. Holy shit. Can you believe that guy?
Yeah, but do you think you might be telling the truth?
Probably. I could have told you the show was cursed before we got here. We didn't need what clearly is a cabin in the woods ripoff to tell us that.
You're right, dude. Let's go to work. What's up, assholes? Welcome to BananaLaser. My name is Matt, or Wazell if you're nasty. With me, is, as always, is the handsome, beautiful, kissable, bangable Dave Z. What the fuck is up, Dave Z?
What is up, brother? You're way too kind. Oh, hey, fuck. Who wouldn't, you know? This is Dave Z, and, fuck. We're gonna put on a good show for you, so stick around.
Indeed. Yep. And we'll be right back with some shit that you guys are gonna love. Alright, what's up, fuckers? BananaLaser. We're gonna talk about a movie today, Motel Hell, from 1980. A classic in some people's eyes. Tagline, it takes all kinds of critters to make Farmer Vincent's fritters. Intriguing enough.
Are you serious? That's really the tagline? Or did you just make it up?
Did you not know that?
I didn't. I've seen that movie 4 times.
Really?
I've had the VHS and the DVD. I never knew that. I just thought you just made it up.
I wish I could make that. That's gold. No,
right?
no,
Yeah, critters and fritters, sure.
That's definitely the tagline. I don't know what your history is. You said you've seen it 4 times, but this movie, I saw it first in like early 2000. It was one of those times where me and another friend who was into horror movies were just kind of going through the video store and looking at VHSs of all things, and it's like, hey, look at this Motel Hell. That seems interesting, and you flip the box over, and it's got a guy in overalls holding a chainsaw with the fucking pig head over his head, and that's the only picture. I was like, dude, we don't have to read this. We're renting this, right?
That's the selling point right there. As soon as you see a pig head and a chainsaw, it's on.
We were sold. And,
yeah.
And the whole time watching the movie, we're like, okay, when's the chainsaw bit? Where's the pig head? Pig head!
I was just going to say, unfortunately, you had to wait till the freaking climax to get to something that great.
Right. What's your, when did you first see this?
Well, like anything that was released in the 80s, I witnessed it right during the 80s, because you'll find out how fucked up I am. At the tender age of 15, during the summertime especially, we were renting like two or three horror movies a day from a mom and pop video shop, and I spent the majority of my childhood just watching the entire fucking horror section of the video store. Like me and my 1 or 2 friends would go, like almost in the summertime, almost daily, and during the school during the school year, at least every Saturday, we would go there and rent the shit out of everything that was horror. If we didn't watch it or rent it, it was because it really looked really shitty, the box or whatever. But seriously, 90% of the stuff that was released on VHS in the 80s, I saw it. So this is just one of those.
Yep. Me as well. So yeah, this movie Motel Hell, it centers around a brother-sister, a couple of farmers, and they're pig farmers, and they essentially kidnap people, and bury them into the ground, and fatten them up, and harvest them for their meat, which is a pretty interesting premise.
Yeah.
This movie, I mean, with that kind of storyline, it kind of shares elements to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very much like that, and it was obviously influenced by it because, at that time, what else had come out when they're talking about cannibalism in that respect?
Mm-hmm.
But let me ask you this. We'll get into more of it later, but right off the bat, did you know that they were brother and sister right away?
No, I had no idea, and it wasn't until probably 2/3 through the movie that they were brother and sister, when the love interest, if you will, comes in. Yeah, I had no idea. I thought the whole time it was like Ma and Pa Kettle.
Yes.
Doing shit.
That's what I thought too. I just wanted to make sure that, that was the general consensus.
Yeah. But going back to the Texas Chainsaw thing, I was reading online. Did you know that Tobe Hooper was actually going to make this movie?
No way, really?
Yeah. He was going to make it, but the studio, whatever studio was going to produce it, thought, it was too ridiculous of a movie to put out. And once they backed out, then he left.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So,
and that was kind of, it became, you could say that it was almost up his alley, because what he did with TCM2 and Eaten Alive and shit like that, it's kind of similar.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. It probably would have turned out a lot better. I mean, I do like this film, I have to say, but it's obviously, it's more of a comedy than horror, don't you think?
Yeah, I don't know if I would consider it a comedy, because...
Yeah, but there's no horror in this whatsoever. I mean, what's horrific? Just burying people, I guess? And
the ideas are horrific. It's kidnapping and putting them into the ground and burying them and then selling them for meat. But I don't think it was slapstickish enough it wasn't funny enough to be considered comedy for me. I don't think I really laughed out loud, except maybe one line.
You never did, because I laughed my ass off at this movie. I can't believe that you didn't laugh. Oh yeah, like, okay, it's a stupid pun, but there's one point in the movie where the rock band Ivan and the Terribles is driving through, and they're smoking weed, and which, by the way, did you notice that Cliff from Cheers is one of the guys in the band?
Yes, I noticed that. Yeah. It's fucking tremendous. Yes. I didn't know it was him until they showed his head right before the climax. So he was a member of the band, but I didn't notice him there. But I noticed him later on when they took the masks off and they gave him the when they were doing that shit. And I laughed at that. I'll tell you that much. That made me laugh.
But they're driving along the road and they're all smoking weed, and the driver's like, man, this red's kind of heavy. We need a place to crash. And then not 2 seconds, they fucking crash. I'm like, come on. That's a fucking stupid-ass joke. But that's what this movie is. It's a bunch of fucking stupid-ass jokes.
Right. And it was funny that it just happened to be right after that. Yeah. It reminds me of the Blues Brothers. You a fan of the Blues Brothers?
Oh yeah.
Well, you know that scene in the Blues Brothers when they're driving, and it's their first gig, and the guy happens to ask Jake. He's like, Jake, where is this gig? And it just happens to be right then and there when he answers the question. He looks
Good
up,
old boys blues.
He goes, Bob's Country Bunker. Here we are. He just happened to see it when that guy asked the question.
No, we played two kinds of music: country and western.
And western. That's great. But that was a funny. It was. I don't know if it was funny. It was just, the fact that happened.
How about this? So obviously they're a motel, and some of the patrons, they get confused for like some kind of sex hotel or whatever. And these people are just ridiculous. I mean, one, they're ridiculous. They're freaks.
Oh, the swingers? Oh,
yes.
Fuck that.
Well,
That segment's great.
They're more than swingers. They fucking... I mean, at one point they're like, do you think they're into animals?
Right.
Like, what the fuck? Who wants to do that?
That's true. I'll tell you, that bit, that 10-minute segment, that for me, that's all the humor right there. They crammed it all in that spot, as far as I'm concerned. They were great.
Yeah, she's
Here's
like...
what I want to know. Yeah. Go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, she was like, the female, she was like, you can bring your daughter if you want. And he's like stone face. She's not my daughter. He's like, whatever.
Yeah, that chick. Yeah, she was into everything. Cause I mean, okay, about the swingers. I think it's kind of odd. That girl must have been fucking as filthy as a person can be. Because take a look. Even if it was a swingers place and they were to go to a place like that, who the fuck would want to get it on with these two farmers, this fat chick, this not attractive fat girl, and this older farmer guy.
Right.
You think just because they're swingers that they're into it, they're just gonna fuck them? I mean, that girl was hot. I mean, for an 80s chick.
Yeah, no, she was. Yeah, and they clearly were not. He was pushing 60, had to be.
Right.
She's, is what she is. And, well, with that, did you recognize that actress who played Farmer Vincent's sister? I forget her name.
Oh, really? You're going to inform me on something I don't know. I forgot. Ida, that was her name. But
yes, Ida. Have you seen Porky's?
Yeah, of course. Oh,
she's Miss Bowbreaker, dude. Miss Ballbreaker.
Holy shit! Wow.
Yeah. Exactly.
I had no idea that, and I can completely see that now. Wow. Oh, that's crazy. That's like, wow.
Yeah, but
one extreme to the other. And speaking of one extreme to the other, how about the fact that Cliff Clavin, or the actor that played Cliff Clavin, went full circle in his career? Because
what do you mean? He got buried up to his neck at the end of Cheers? I don't get it.
No. That was good, but I mean, the roles he selected. This, to my knowledge, was his first role, earliest that I've seen. You know what I mean? Now, what do you remember him for later on? You may or may not know this. You may not have seen the movies, but I have
House
a daughter.
2, the second story, I remember.
Well, that was cool because that was a gimmick because they had Cliff in the one and Norm in the second. Or whichever way it was. Yeah. I know that. No. Have you seen him do anything recently? Now, the reason I know what this is because I have a 7-year-old daughter.
Oh. Well, then no.
There's
a Toy Story, I guess.
Yes, he plays the pig.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So he's come full circle. He started off in a movie that was, featuring pigs, and in the end, he played a pig.
With his vocal cords.
Yeah, correct, yes. Using only his vocal cords. He had none, and then he had that's all he was using at the end of his career.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing I want to talk about. Okay, so they're harvesting humans. They bury them up to their neck, and they, do surgery on them. They clip their vocal cords. And at what point do you say, is this worth it? you have pigs there. How much more work is it to fucking harvest these humans? I mean, seriously, they're working like 100 times harder for what? There's no way human meat tastes better than pork.
That's a good point.
I don't know if you eat pork, but I'm a chef, okay? Pig is a magical fucking animal. It's like a unicorn. I don't know. Fucked a goat, and then all of a sudden it birthed, a pig. It's a delicious animal. There's no way. I've never had human meat, but there's no way that fucking human meat tastes better than pig.
That's true, but I mean, yeah, I never thought of it that way.
I mean, when they're digging the holes to put the people in, I'm like, okay, this is a lot of fucking work. I mean, you can't breed these humans. You can breed pigs at least. Oh, yeah, all day, all night, absolutely. Mm-hmm. I tell you, I never thought about it from that perspective, but yeah, that is a lot of fucking work for beef jerky. Fucking jerky. Like, you could take the shittiest meat and make fucking beef jerky.
Right? How much could he be making off? I mean, they're running a motel, and they're making whatever. They're making a decent living. They're not living high on the hog, no pun intended. Uh-huh. Fucking, they're doing their thing, and they live in the, they run out of hotel. They're doing their, like Norman Bates style almost. They're in their place, and They're happy. They don't dress fancy. They're just a couple of farmers. So they're going through all that extra shit to sell some beef jerky.
The thing is, yeah, it's ridiculous. But the thing is, they drop a few lines. It's like they think they're doing God's work. I think because they talk about cleansing. The world is overpopulated, and man's got to eat. They say meat's meat and man's got to eat. That's what
that's
they
the
say.
line. Yeah,
and so. And there's a couple other things too, like when this young girl is introduced, and which we'll get back to her in a second because she just boggles my mind on why she's there.
Right.
But she wants to fuck this guy, which is insane, and he instantly backs off and says, "We should get married."
Right, right.
So at this fucking guy's core, he has like some values. Of he's got values. He thinks he's doing God's work. He won't have sex until he's married. Like, what the fuck? This guy's so screwed up. I can't.
He'll kill because in his warped mind, meat's meat and man's got to eat. Like you said, he'll kill because you notice he refers to them as animals.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Doesn't he say the word animals, or is it a different?
He does. Yeah.
Okay, he goes, I feed my animals, or whatever he says about it. So he basically considers humans as just another animal, even though he's one of them.
Right. Just
another form of livestock, if you will, whatever. And I guess in his warped fucking mind, that's okay because, he gives that speech at the end. Overpopulating and whatever, I'm feeding people and what have you. But he is one of those guys. I don't know if that was... like they were taking a jab at the Bible Belt or religious freaks by throwing that in there, saying, okay, we're gonna look away from this, but over here, wow, don't have sex, can't do that until you got a ring on your finger. You can fucking whack people, do all this shit, not just whack them, but torture them. Think about what he's doing to these poor bastards. Right. But I guess it makes sense to him. Sex is bad. And violence is okay, and maybe it was a political statement in 1980. I don't know.
Wow, that's some crazy politics. But
maybe I'm looking too deep into it. I tend to do that,
Yeah, I think so. In a movie called Motel Hell.
That's true.
So yeah, okay. I mean, the main plot gets moved along whenever he picks up this this couple. Really, this couple on a motorcycle, and what's he do? He sabotages the motorcycle, and
he shoots it out, doesn't he? Okay.
It's not really clear in the beginning because I guess they want to be kind of vague with it. But either way, he takes the boyfriend or the guy or whoever it is, and they bury him. But then they just kidnap the young girl. Like obviously he has affection or wants to bang her or something for her right off the bat. But the whole time she is there, I'm bashing my fucking fist up against my head. I'm like, why doesn't she leave? Why is she staying there? I do not fucking understand. How long would you stay there? Days, weeks? I mean,
yeah,
hours?
That's it. Yeah, right. Fuck that.
She will not leave. I don't fucking get it.
Well, first and foremost, back to the boyfriend, and with her being there, I think she kind of, as fucked up as it sounds, because it makes zero sense, that all he does is tell her, and the cop, who's his brother, and it works. He fools his brother, too. He just says, oh, yeah, the guy died, and I buried her. I buried him, the next morning, by myself.
Right, yeah.
And nobody questions it.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I think they dropped some line where it's like, well, it's legal. It is legal in this county. Like, what the fuck? Where do they live?
Right.
I hope it's not Missouri because it's going to give me and my family a bad name.
Holy fuck.
Shit.
Right? But what a fucked up concept. I mean, and the funny thing is the cop, that's one thing, it's his brother, and he knows that his brother's kind of fucked up. And you find that out more as it goes on.
Yeah.
He's fucked up himself, so whatever. But I mean, the girl. If you were traveling with your girlfriend somewhere by bike, and this was to happen, your girlfriend gets whacked, somehow you fell asleep for whatever, and you wake up the next day and they say, oh, sorry, your woman's passed, and I took the liberty of burying her this morning.
Right.
You're just going to accept that?
No, I would attack that motherfucker.
Right? Who the fuck does that?
Yeah.
I think she liked that, though. I think that because she's fucked up, obviously, because she falls for him. But I mean, I think maybe that impressed her. Oh, this is a man. He's a good man. You know, he buried. Who fucking knows? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And that definitely bothers me that, you know, that he just says, oh, yeah, well, I took the liberty of burying him this morning. It's legal and blah, blah, blah. And nobody fucking questions it. I mean, it's the girl's boyfriend. You know?
Right. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's retarded.
Really. Yeah.
So, what did you think about the when they finally start to harvest the meat and they fucking snap those guys' necks with the tractor? And they're showing them like they're getting them high essentially off these spinning lights and stuff. What did you think about that?
Well, it was pretty trippy, and for the time I could see why they would do it. It was still 1980.
Yeah.
And it was pretty trippy shit. I mean, that was one thing that was, you know, maybe they stole it from like the acid test or like from those fucked up movies from the late 60s, you know, those road trip movies or whatever. But it was kind of weird that they put them on that thing and they hypnotized them.
Right.
Those colors and shit.
It's like, why bother? It's like, just kill them. Like,
you just fucking took the words out of my mouth. Why did they do that?
That goes back to my point of this is way too much fucking work. There's no way you guys are making enough money off of this shit. Like, what the fuck? But then, you know what I thought about then? And this comes from my background as a chef, which sucks to bring it up.
No, it's funny. For this movie, it works.
For Motel Hell. Is that when they go to slaughter cows, if the cow realizes that he's about to die, which is why they always do it quick and with like, you know, like an air rifle or whatever they do, if the cow realizes it's going to die, it shocks the system, and it sort of taints the meat in its body. And this is no bullshit. It doesn't necessarily make the meat bad. It's just it makes the meat tough, and it's just not the quality that you want. And so that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, they're getting them high so they don't get that shock to the system when they kill them and snap their necks, and they preserve their fucking human meat. That's the only thing I could piece together. And
well, that's more than I got. That's more than I got out of it. At least you had some type of background, and you can have rationality with it some way, because I had nothing. You know, I mean, nothing to work with.
At the same time, when I thought that thought, I was like, I'm thinking way too much about this fucking movie. Like this is
that's because you knew you had the show coming up. So,
yeah.
You know, you watch movies differently when you know you got a show coming up.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
exactly. But
ow, fuck! I never thought about any of that stuff. But that's incredible, really. It's you know, you got me thinking about a whole different perspective of this film. You know, because really, what you said makes perfect sense.
But
as far as the money, I mean, that's ridiculous.
We don't want to give it, too much credit. I mean, really. I'm sure nobody was thinking about that at all.
No, but hey, that's why you got a show and they don't. How's that?
So yeah, and then towards the end of the movie, his brother starts to figure it out and all that shit. But and they end up having the chainsaw fight I was talking about, which was cool. But what I really liked about watching it this time was the fact that the people got away. They got out of their graves, so to speak, and then they started attacking Ida. But I got a serious zombie vibe off of them when they did that, because they were like clawing at her and they couldn't talk. They were just growling. I'm like, this is a zombie movie now. Like, what the fuck? That's awesome. I never even thought about that before.
Yeah, no shit. I never thought about that either until you just said it. Wow.
Yeah, well, for like 5 minutes it turned into a zombie movie. They're
right?
And they start clawing at her, and I guess eventually they kill her. I really don't remember, but
well, yeah, I guess that's the way they left it. It's not really said. They just kind of covered her up, and that was the end of it. I guess we're just to assume that they ripped her apart or something.
Right.
But who the fuck was she to think that she could take on, what was it, 4 or 5 of them? Whatever it was.
Oh, yeah.
3 or 4, whatever. who was she to think she could take them on solely because they didn't have any vocal cords?
Yeah, well, that vocal cords are proven to be the strength in humans because they just scream, and that's where they get their power from.
I mean, shit, this girl had a pretty strong ego. Maybe she thought of them as meat or animals, so maybe that was in her head. I don't know.
And she's an insane person.
Well, right.
So there you go. But so they have the chainsaw fight, and I'm wondering why. I mean, don't get me wrong. The pig head is why I rented this movie in the first place.
Right.
But it's not like he's your brother. He knows it's you. Why is he trying to hide from him as he attacks him with a chainsaw? I don't fucking understand. Makes no sense. Right,
and by that time he knew that his brother was onto him, because remember he heard him talking to the girl saying blah blah blah, he's crazy, come with me. Right. And then remember he confronts him and he pulls a gun on him at one point.
Yeah. He knew it was him. So
yeah, so they had already had their little altercation. So he knew that his brother, had figured him out.
Right.
So it makes even less sense. Why put the pig mask except for us? Because it sold the movie and it was cool.
Absolutely, it sold the movie. Yep. It worked on me. I'm assuming it worked on you. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what it's. This to me, there's two things this movie is known for: burying the people and cutting out their vocal cords, because that hadn't been done before, and it was kind of cool. And the noise they make is outstanding, and I've never seen that noise anywhere else in any other movie, and I can't even begin to reproduce it myself. So, right. I won't even try, because I'm okay at making noises, but that noise, it was more like, it was deeper than just it was more like I don't know, but it was tremendous. It was great sound effects, whatever they did. That's what it's known for to me. That, and the scene at the end, pig mask chainsaw, which, I mean, that's cool. Sure, they were cashing in on the Texas Chainsaw craze, absolutely. I suppose, but... Yeah. That's what sold, and it was cool because it was a classic clash of the good guy and the bad guy, and the damsel in distress slowly going towards her end, and they have to. Not only did he have to beat the bad guy, he had to do it in a timely fashion. It's like the Pit and the Pendulum, the old classic tale.
Wow, no, you're giving this way too much credit.
Well, give me time. I'll rip on it some more, because there's a bunch of moments that I'm like scratching my head about that I haven't even discussed. So
okay, such as?
Oh fuck. Well, here's a cool moment. First of all, I don't know if you noticed this, but when he first brings her home, the girl, which I forget her name, the blonde girl, when he first brings her home and they lay her down in the bed, there's a lamp in the bedroom. And it looks 100% like a bong.
What?
And not only does the lamp look just like a bong, but that same bong shows up in Ivan and the Terrible's van, and they're smoking out of it.
Oh. That's just bad props.
Yeah, but was it done? Was it done intentionally, though?
I'm willing to bet that it was. I mean, I think they knew who their audience was.
Oh, right. But I never noticed that till this last viewing.
Yeah, I did not notice that either. That's funny.
Now you might go back and look at it if you decide to watch this again. But
I'll watch it again. I mean,
I'll watch it again too.
Yeah.
Not right away. Maybe in a year or two, whatever. Mm-hmm. That's one moment, but that's not that's not like a head scratcher. But
right.
You might have some. Go ahead. Shit.
Well. I mean, I think this whole movie can be classified as that. What I want to talk about is, though, at the end. So the brother essentially kills Vincent or whatever, and then he's laying there dying, he's bleeding out, and he's getting ready to give his last words.
Yep.
And what does he say to his fucking brother is,
"Yep,
I use preservatives." Like, that just sums up this fucking movie.
Yes, it does.
In one fucking line. It's like, that's how fucking retarded this movie is.
Well, you think it's gonna be a tender moment. He's like he came to a realization that what he had done was wrong, and he's about to meet death. And whatever, he's trying to make amends for any sins he had or whatever. Some dramatic, beautiful moment, a moment of clarity in this guy's life. Nope. He's like, my whole life was a lie, he says. My whole life was a lie. And they're playing up on it. And I'm thinking, wow, this guy, the first time I saw it, this guy's really he's coming clean, poor bastard. This is getting a little dramatic for a horror movie. And then he fucking comes up with the line, I use preservatives. That's hysterical. I mean,
well, I'm glad they did it because if like you said, if they tried to put in an actual tender moment, then that would just, that would ruin the movie. It's like,
I agree.
That's totally out of the vein of the movie. So
yeah, it worked. It definitely worked, and it it's one of those situations where the movie knows what it is,
right.
And it has fun with the audience.
Yeah, ultimately, I enjoyed the movie back then, and I still enjoy it now. I mean, we watched this the other night, and I was, I was laughing the whole time. So, I think it's a fun movie, and I definitely think it's just a comedy. There's nothing horrific really at all. It's just something to put on and laugh at, really.
Oh yeah, it's fun. It's definitely fun, and there's some good lines in it too. And there's, how about the whole thing with Wolfman Jack?
Right. Yeah. I think with that whole interaction with him, it made me think that this movie was sponsored by Hustler magazine or something, because that kept popping up.
Right? Yeah,
like,
there was that one little
placement.
scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was past. It was kind of weird. It was like an interlude. It was like between first the guy's there, and Wolfman Jack is supposed to be the reverend, and he sees that the cop is reading the magazine, and then of course he confiscates it, say, I have to dispose of this trash.
Right.
And of course he keeps it. Maybe once again, maybe it's political. Who knows? Maybe the guys that wrote it had really good intentions, and who knows? So he did that. Then the very next scene, the cop comes to the house, and the girl of all, Ida, the fat farmer chick, she's sitting there, and she's reading Hustler, and then the cop tells her, oh, you guys are disgusting.
Right, exactly.
So everybody's judging everybody, yet everybody's reading Hustler at the same time. So they're all just, faking it. It's fucking...
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's funny,
Oh, absolutely. So, let's give some ratings, I guess. Out of 5, the Netflix rating, what would you give Motel Hell?
Out of 5, I will go with 2.5.
Really?
Yeah, I liked it. I don't want to say I didn't like it, and I don't want to say I liked it. I don't know. It's just 2.5 seems to work. It's right in the middle for me. It's something I'll watch occasionally, but although after talking about it today, the humor might boost it up a little bit, but I'll stick with the 2.5, 2.5.
All right, I give it a 3.5. I think I really like this movie. I don't want to say I loved it, but it had a lot of good shit in it that I thought was hilarious. It's got a chainsaw fight. I mean,
that's nice.
Any movie with a chainsaw fight, I'm gonna love. Chainsaw 2, or really, that's the only other one that I know of. But
true, but it's good also. Right.
Yeah, big fan. All right, so that was Motel Hell, and we'll be right back with something else.
You hired the unholy two because you wanted the best money could buy. Now you got nothing to worry about. We're gonna get the job done. Might talk a lot of shit, but we will get the job done.
All right, fuckers, we are back, and we got another classic movie this time from 1981. This time it was directed by Tobe Hooper. And the movie is FunHouse. One of the taglines is pay to get in, pray to get out. This was actually a first time viewing for me. Mr. Z suggested this movie, and I thought it was pretty good. Dave, you seen this movie a lot?
Yeah, I've seen it. Honestly, I probably have seen it 4 times, just like with Motel Hell, but
really?
I enjoyed it. You know what? Sometimes I like a movie so much, and if it has a little bit of an effect on me, like, nothing really scares me, as with most horror fans, but certain elements of this movie scare me, so
Really?
I can't... Yeah.
Did you see it at a young age?
No, I didn't even see it in the 80s. I didn't see this movie until I was grown, and I'd bought the DVD probably like 10 years ago or so. Somehow, this is one of the few that eluded me, and I bought it, and I bought the DVD blindly, and certain elements kind of creep me out a little bit, and because I like it so much, I reserve it for, special occasions, or just not so often, because I don't want to overkill it.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I don't think it's fantastic
crazy.
or out of this world, but just because it spooks me out a little bit. Everybody's different. Some like my wife, midgets, freak her out, and
well, I mean, who doesn't? I mean, come
all
on.
right, they don't bother me so much. But everybody's got their shit, and for me, I have a little bit of a phobia of like freaks and things like that, deformities. I wish I didn't, because I don't know if I sound like an asshole, but it just...
No, that makes sense. Have you seen Freaks, though, from like 1930?
Well, there you go. I won't watch it.
Really?
Yeah, I think it would just freak me out a little too much.
Really? I could not have been more bored. I mean, it's a movie from the 30s, but
I know what it is. I know all about it. Some people, it's like a cult classic, and some people swear by it, but me, it's definitely not for me.
Yeah. Huh. See, that just didn't really I liked this movie. It was okay, but nothing was really got that emotion out of me. I wasn't ever I didn't get any emotions out of it, really. I was just kind of like, that was a fun little movie, but it wasn't like nothing really stayed with me. So I'm glad that you had that experience.
Yeah, just because it's just what personally scares you. I mean, I know somebody that they're scared of zombie movies, like big time. They love them, but they're scared of them because they believe that zombies could happen. Where I don't believe it could happen,
right.
and they don't scare me. I love them, some of them, Romero's and a handful of them. But like me, like the Paranormal Activity and some other shit, that kind of speaks to me a little bit, because me personally, I believe that could happen, but this person that is scared of zombie movies looks at a movie like Paranormal Activity and says, piece of shit, I don't believe in ghosts or anything like that, so it does nothing for me. So I just think it's, whatever scares a person in particular just might speak to them,
Interesting. Yeah, I guess that's why I gravitate towards slashers the most, because
right.
As far as the I love fantasy and all that stuff, but that is what it is to me. It's fantasy. I don't really believe that ghosts exist, or anything supernatural really exists in a malicious way. So a guy with a knife, or just your neighbor trying to kill you, like an American Psycho or something like that. That's
right.
What freaks me out.
Well, that's a fact. Yeah, that happens all the time, and we know it. So slashers are slashers, and a guy coming at you with an axe or a machete or a knife, whatever, we know that shit happens.
Right.
And so, whatever.
Yeah. So this movie, it opens up, and obviously this movie has got the location is a carnival and stuff, and just right off the bat, I really liked the music selection and the
yes.
The way the credits
yes.
the credits play out. To me, that is the strongest thing for any movie. It's like, if you have shitty credit sequence at the beginning of your movie, fuck you, because
right.
You got to put. I mean, some people just tack that shit onto a movie,
mm-hmm.
but that shit is what sucks you into the movie. And when they have something this good that has the music and all the elements and the cool titles and stuff like that. I was getting really sucked in at first. And especially because it's summer, and right now there's actually a carnival up the street from my house right now.
Right. We had one last week, so right, I hear you.
Exactly. So so that was cool. Then the opening scene, I had no idea where this movie was going. Then the opening scene happens, and it's like a Halloween rip, I guess.
Yes, right?
And that I really enjoyed too.
Right. Yeah.
Something weird about it, though, that made me scratch my head was, okay, you got the POV of supposedly the villain, and
right.
he's looking around the room, and you're wondering, okay, is this his room? Is this someone else's room? But there's all these weapons on the wall, like a knife, a fucking, cat of nine tails, and some fucking mallets. Like, who has this shit on their fucking wall?
I didn't notice that. No shit.
Yeah, because he goes for the knife that's hanging on the wall. There's a bunch of weapons.
What the fuck?
Exactly.
See, I love that he did that, because as soon as he puts the mask on and you see the POV through the mask, that's only been done in one other movie, and we know what movie that is.
Right.
So I was looking at that, I'm like, wow, that's kind of interesting. And for whatever reason, it didn't resonate with me that he chose a knife out of all that shit. Holy cow! Wow.
Yeah, and so the whole thing's happening, and I'm like, well, who is living here? Because it shows the girl taking a shower, and it's like, okay, clearly she lives there, so it's her room. I'm like, what the? I was kind of lost. It was a cool scene, obviously it turns out to be a ruse. And you can guess that it's this young boy's room, and he loves horror movies or whatnot, and he's collecting all these weapons.
Right.
But he's
Which
like
is cool.
He's 10 years old.
Right. Right. It's a little young.
What
right.
parents in their right mind is going to let them do that and hang weapons on the wall, fake or not? Like,
right.
Oh my God.
That's true. And that little bastard gets scared by everything the whole rest of the movie.
Exactly.
On top of it, right?
Exactly.
You would think that if he was, accustomed to horror and he was into all that shit, he would have, a little bit better of a constitution, freaking when things were that aren't really that scary or scaring the shit out of him. The whole movie.
And I don't know about you. I mean, I had an older sister, and I would be all for scaring the shit out of her. but busting in while she's in the shower and seeing her naked would not be at the top of that list, dude.
No. No, I don't think that would fly.
I would not want to see my siblings nude in any kind of fashion.
No, I don't think that would fly at all. No, with any sibling. No, that's crazy. I mean, with any family member, for that matter.
Yeah,
please.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous. But let me add on to what you said about the opening sequence, because it really impacted me greatly. And because it sets the pace right off the bat with that scary-ass carnival music and the way they were showing the different, the things that we're going to see later on through the FunHouse.
Right.
And it really sets the pace. And right off the bat, it's unnerving for me. It's because that type of shit, for me personally, it's a little bit creepy. Mm-hmm. So that's what I like, is that right off the bat they do that, and that's a strong introduction. Then we go into that kid, like you said, and the Halloween knockoff and that, which is crazy that I never noticed that about the weapons. But maybe fucking shit. Wait, so was that his bedroom, or was it a room that we were not sure of?
It's never. It has to be. I mean,
okay, all right. I'm not positive.
It's never blatantly said, but I mean, if it was anybody else in that family, then that's a fucked up family.
Maybe it's the swingers from Motel Hell. Maybe it's
yeah. They're into self-mutilation as well. Yeah.
Why not, those fuckers?
Jesus.
But here's something about that scene. As fucked up as that is, this is a little off topic, but can you think of any other movie where the heroine, the last girl at the end, who also is supposed to be a virgin, by the way,
right,
is shown tits, is shown naked in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yep, before she probably says a word. Yeah. No,
yeah.
That is definitely different. Well, I think a lot of that has to do with that. I mean, that scene really has got nothing to do with the rest of the movie at all. But so I kind of think that they maybe, had a cut of the movie and was like, well, nothing happens in this movie for 50 minutes, so we kind of got to do something. So I think that's why. I think maybe they filmed that last and just tacked it on. That's my opinion. I don't know.
I think
it doesn't really fit with the rest of the movie.
It doesn't fit, except for the fact that I think it could be one of two things. It might have just been like a spoof of Halloween, not a spoof, but just like to throw you off guard. That, you know, this looks like a slasher at first, but
right.
A different type of slasher, I should say. And we're gonna put you through with the POV and whatever else, making you think that it's this type of movie where it's just gonna be a straight hack and slash shower scene, whatever, just to fuck with the audience a little bit. But maybe not just that. But what happens is, remember how angry she gets at him, and they bring it back later on in the movie when she says, "I'm gonna get back at you if it's the last thing I do. I'll never forgive you," something like that. And they even play it back later. I think they threw it in there because he had a chance to save his sister when she knew she was in there, and he didn't open his mouth. And I think they showed that he was thinking that, and he was like, well, you know what? Fuck her. And then later on, remember she phoned home and she said something, tell whatever his name is that the movie was great, because she knew that she was really going to the FunHouse. So I think they were, because they had to put him there for the plot. For whatever reason, that's just the way the movie was written. They had him going there. But wasn't there a point in the movie where he could have opened his mouth and said, hey, my sister and her friends went in that funhouse and never came out? And he doesn't say a fucking word.
Huh. I don't know. I don't know the point that you're talking about.
Really?
But yeah, no.
You don't remember when they're playing that back, when they actually, you hear the girl's voice, he's like reminiscing about earlier in the movie. I'll never, and she's like giving him the business and talking shit about how she's never gonna forgive him, and I'll get back with you if it's the last thing I do, blah blah blah. Because remember how the cat had his tongue later on when he freaked out, and his parents came and picked him up later on in the movie.
Right. Man,
he didn't say a word. He didn't say one word to his parents or that guy. Hey, my sister's in there with his friends. That's the reason I'm here to begin with.
Yeah,
I followed them here.
Right.
He doesn't say shit, and the reason is,
okay.
Yeah, he's basically saying, "Well, you're treating me like shit because of the print. Well, fuck you. Stay in the place."
Right. Huh.
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too deeply again, but that's what I got out of it.
No. That makes sense. I mean. I didn't catch on to that really, just because I was kind of bored throughout this movie. I mean, it had there was some cool stuff that I liked, but it's like, mostly I like the atmosphere, I like the location, but I mean, I was just kind of bored. It felt like nothing was really happening for a while, and even when like the villain or villains, I guess you could say, are introduced, I mean, that was kind of shocking. I wasn't really expecting that.
Right. Right.
But after that, they weren't like shocking to me anymore. They just seemed like, oh, it's a guy, with a weird mask on. I mean, he looked so crazy that I was like, there's no way. I mean, how was this guy birthed? I mean, did he have a name or anything like that?
I don't think he had a name, but I hear what you're saying. It looked too far from human to be real. Like, he was wearing the Frankenstein mask earlier, and it was almost like he just had another mask on because it was so far-fetched from humanity. The makeup effects weren't top-notch, unfortunately.
I mean, no, I thought it looked great, but it's just like, because this movie was like, the whole movie felt like, okay, it felt like more of a slasher movie. But then you introduce this fucking weird, almost supernatural thing with this character, the villain, and he's like some weird deformed thing, but he's so outrageously done that it just kind of took me out of it. I mean, it was shocking at first, but
well, you know what he is? He's the same thing. Remember when they went into that little display, the four teenagers, and they saw that one thing in the
the like embryo or baby?
Yeah, it was an embryo. It was a two-faced child. A child with two faces that didn't survive. This, whatever his name is, I think he's just credited as Monster in the title. The Monster is the same thing, and it took me, I think, a second view to really see what it is. And it's basically just somebody with two faces, like
Oh, okay.
a
So I
carnival,
didn't catch
a
that at all.
circus freak. Yeah, see, you know what? The first time I saw it, I didn't really catch on that either. But if you look at him now, go back and watch it, you'll see he is a two-faced, being.
So
He's a deformed thing, a circus freak.
A conjoined twin.
In a manner of speaking, yes. And the way they allude to it later, that the other one is his brother, the one that's on display in the thing. And I think that one twin survived and one didn't. Now, was his mother that fucked up? Was she one also? I don't know, because they don't really allude to it. He just says...
She's not there, right? I mean, there's no mother there, right?
No, he mentions her. He goes, ever since your mother, and then that's the end of it. I don't know if you're supposed to say died, took off on us, or whatever, but he does mention it. And, he's just a two-faced freak. He's just someone that was born with two faces, and they're kind of stuck together. And like I said, that's why I said the makeup isn't very good, because upon my first view, I didn't catch on to that either.
Yeah, no,
but
it
then,
just looked like he had a crazy face.
Yeah, right, and the hair doesn't make it any better. They should have given him more normal hair, because it looks a little too extreme that he has that fucking crazy spiked white hair. It was almost like a Michael Myers mask, but instead of having dark hair, it's white. It was just, in the later films, I mean. It was just too, a little too outlandish. And then they showed his hands, and they look fucked up too. But I don't think the makeup effects... the budget didn't go into the makeup, and maybe if it would have, and it would have looked a little more, they made him drool a lot. They showed his nasty teeth, and he was always drooling and shit,
That was pretty good. I like that part of it.
Yeah, I liked it too, and it made him even more scary. See, so I look at that guy as as a freak, someone that was born with two, like a conjoined twin type thing, that they have two faces. That to me is fucking scary. If I had one of those things chasing me. Just to see one would be scary, but one chasing me that wants to end my life and it's already whacked my friends. That's why it scares the shit out of me. I'm not freaks. That type of shit doesn't sit well with me, man. I'll tell you right now.
All right, I know how to get at you now.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple of things you can bring up right now. There you go.
I'm gonna send you some weird photographs or something. Like in the middle of the night, probably.
Oh, that's all. Keep me up all fucking night, why don't you? Right.
And it also had the with the animals and stuff. It had a two-headed cow, and that was like a real cow too.
Yeah, all that shit was real, I believe.
Yeah, it seemed pretty real to me. I couldn't see him putting like a prosthetic on a cow. They probably just put a weird casting call out for anybody who had a two-headed cow. And I'm sure they're out there somewhere.
Oh yeah, that's where the budget went. They had to hunt down two-headed cows, a fucking sheep with an extra horn, Tobey Hooper. They tracked them down. Fuck, okay, let's go out and get as many freak animals as we can, and we'll skimp a little bit in the makeup department.
Yeah. So these kids, I mean, the whole reason they're in peril is that they decide to stay the night in the funhouse because one of the guy's friends did it one time. Like, who would fucking do that? I'm not staying the night anywhere. Are you kidding me? I might hang out there for a little bit, but stay the entire night? Get the fuck out of here. Would you do that?
No, but they're fucking teenagers and they're trying to get laid and they're all high.
Even at...
Think about it. They're smoking weed they're smoking a joint on the way to the fucking place. They get there and they smoke another one. Then this girl who's supposedly a virgin all of a sudden turns slutty in a matter of half an hour. First she tells the girl, what are you saving it for? Next thing you know, she has her clothes off in the funhouse when they decide to stay there before the other one does.
Hey,
and by the way,
it's a fun place.
Yeah, it is a fun house. Hey, so, they're teens. Think about it. Think about all the shit that went on in that movie, even prior to them getting in the fun house. There was a lot of shit that went down, and they're doing this and that, and they go and see the palm reader, and they go look at the peep show, and they got all that shit going on.
Dude,
there's so much shit that went on.
Okay, have you ever been to a fucking carnival where there's strippers? I mean, come on. This is 1981. I mean, we were alive then. Was there ever a tent that we couldn't go in because, hey, that's a strip show? What the fuck?
Just a fucking beer tent. That was it.
Yeah.
That's all I knew. We can't go to the beer tent. I never knew anything about anybody shaking ass, and I never heard a guy, with a microphone saying, what the fuck was that guy saying? They wiggle and they dance. They wiggle and they dance.
Oh, my God. I would have found if that was at the carnival down the street right now, yeah, I'd be there in 2 seconds. Like, are you kidding me?
Right. Fuck
Jeez.
yeah. Absolutely. And of course the guy says, "Oh yeah, they always have holes back here," he said. So and then there was no hole, and he takes a switchblade out, cuts a hole in the thing, and they peek their eye in there and they look at these freaking, girls shaking their tits on stage.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Maybe that's what put her in the mood.
Yeah, that's a little weed, freaking naked girls dancing around. The girl had her ear. This guy was kind of a bad boy type. Fucking, that's all it took. She got wet, and there you have it.
A little weed. These guys reminded me of me like 10 years ago. It's like I'll be there in a minute. I have to continually get high. Like I'll be late. I'll be 2 hours late because I have to smoke more weed. I have to be as high as I possibly can. That's what that reminded me of.
It was great because they were smoking everywhere. They smoke in the car on the way, and then remember they're smoking right outside the tent.
Yeah.
It's freaking right where the girls are dancing, and that one bum sees him and starts talking shit to him, and then they send him on his way. But I mean, they were fucking, they were hardcore smoking. That reminds me of me too. Same shit, And it's great. You got 2 guys and 2 girls. And you're out on a date, and you're getting baked. And the one girl, they're both pretty good-looking girls. Once again, for an '80s movie,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They're hot chicks, and freaking, the night takes a certain trajectory, and these guys are thinking, hey, we're both gonna get laid here. Let's fucking,
stay the night in the FunHouse.
Yeah, let's fuck. Right. Forget about a motel. Right.
Yeah. I think I would have worked something else out. I mean, just anything. I think maybe stay in the cow tent. I don't know. There's probably at least hay to go away on or something.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Anything. You're right. That's true. But think about it. You're high, and you're a teenager, and you and your buddy are there, and you got these 2 chicks. The idea comes up. You know what? This place is fucking whacked out. We're high as hell. Could you imagine just getting it on in the fun? Maybe not staying there the whole night, but.
Right. Yeah.
Throwing the girl down over here and freaking getting it out in the funhouse. Tell me that's not a fun idea.
Right.
Shit. So,
speaking of the actual funhouse, though, I wanted to go on that ride the whole time. I love I love going to haunted houses. I love fucking weird, corny shit like that where stuff's popping out at you and going boo and all that shit.
Right.
I love that shit.
Oh, I think it was great. I don't even think it was corny. I think it was genuinely especially for a little thing like that, a little county fair that comes in and rolls out. I thought it was quality. I mean, once again, I think the budget went on that shit because that was some cool shit. I'd love to go on that ride. I mean, they had all kinds of. They had music and they had the steam blasting and things coming up and down. And
that thing had 2 floors. Okay. 2 floors. What traveling carnival do you know where a ride has got 2 floors like that?
The ride had 2 floors? Really?
Well, no. Like whenever the kids are in the funhouse and they first learn about the deformed kid and his father, they're up above them. They're like a floor above them, and they're listening to their conversations.
Well, that's where they live. Yeah, those guys live below because you got to think about it. Later on in the climax, that's where all the mechanics and shit are because they show the stuff coming down before it goes up.
Right.
You show all the mechanical shit going on below. So I honestly, you would think that there has to be a below if there's an above for shit like that. Things are popping up, and it's all type of
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be normal. I don't think the ride went on 2 floors. I mean, shit, that'd be great if it did.
Geez, it takes 7 semis to fucking carry this fucking thing.
Right? But don't you think it's a scary situation for them to be in when those kids are in there and they see first of all, they see, first they go to the palm reader and they're fucking high and they laugh about it, and then they get kicked out of the place. And
the fortune teller, she scared me more than anything. She had those bug eyes, kind of.
Yeah, that was kind of scary, absolutely. Yeah. And they did that, and then later on, of all things, they just happen to see the light go on, and they look under, between the little, the little bit of space they have to look in the floor below. Mm-hmm. They see this freaking Frankenstein monster, who doesn't really say a word, paying, of all people, the fortune teller for sex. This whole fucking hag,
I don't know if you constitute that as sex. I mean, maybe it is. He paid $100 for a 2-second hand job. I mean, it was wham bam doesn't even constitute
Right.
it. That was
Did he get a
holy
hand
shit.
job?
Well, she stood up and started wiping her hand off.
Oh, I never caught that. I just thought that they got his pants down, and there you go. That was the end of it. I just thought that he got too excited. You know?
I think maybe she didn't touch him. Maybe she just got really close. But either way, it was not worth $100. She robbed that motherfucker.
No, I hear you. Well, the poor bastard. It was probably the only fucking time he ever had any type of connection with a female. And
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, that part for me is realistic. Think about it. I mean, that probably would happen. You know, even if it was some old hag, a woman's gonna touch my cock for the first time. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
I'm probably gonna blow it really quick. You know, it's par for the course. You know, face it.
$100 though.
Oh, ridiculous! Yeah, but then, well, guess what? The $100 was obviously too steep because she gave her life for it. The fucker got pissed off, and that's what they witnessed. Murder.
That's right. What happened? He just threw her into something, and she died.
Electricity.
She got electrocuted. It was one of those things.
Yes, it was electric. And because that happened, he threw her into the freaking, whatever, the circuit breaker, or whatever you want to call it, and then everything went crazy. She got shocked. The fucking lights went on and off upstairs in the FunHouse, and shit got crazy, and somehow she got shocked with that. It was like Halloween 6 when fucking Michael threw that guy in the freaking...
and his head exploded? Yeah.
Right, yeah, except it didn't go to that extreme. Right.
Yeah.
But similar thing. Threw him into the thing, and, yeah, shit fucking got crazy. She blew, and that was that. And that's what these kids witnessed. That's kind of scary. Shit.
Yep, that started their downfall. Now, really, and then, the father comes in. He sees everything that happens, and eventually the monster, I guess is his name, gets unmasked. And like I said, that kind of took me back. But then everything after that, I just kind of spaced out on this movie. It was like the setup I felt was pretty good, and then once the action actually started happening was when I kind of started to tune out.
I'll give you that. It was very run of the mill. As far as that's concerned, not enough happened.
I couldn't tell you how anybody died except for the first kid with the glasses. They dropped down that noose and hung him. After that, I have no idea how anybody dies.
Now, how the fuck? First of all, that with that noose dropping down, how far fetched is that they're gonna drop that noose in that little spot,
right,
get it around his neck, and pull him up that quick? You know how impossible that would be to do.
Right. Well, I mean, the monster guy, he's got freak strength. He's got the retard strength. he's got the Victor Crowley strength, dude. He's got
Victor Crowley strength, and he has freaking aim like nobody I've ever seen, because he drops the noose down, it wraps perfectly around his neck, and it's tightened, and they pull him right up. Mm-hmm. I mean, shit.
So
hey, I'll tell you what, I guess that's pretty badass that he did that. But it's cool that they brought him back later. Remember, they brought him back later, and he was he had that fucking.
What?
Yeah, that not.
I don't.
Yeah, because here's what happened. He actually gets killed. He's still alive after that little hanging sequence. He doesn't get hanged to death. He gets put on the ride, and the kids think that the monster or someone else is coming at them, and he's on the carriage, and they put an axe in his head. Yeah,
okay.
Which that was kind of cool. I like that when they do that in horror movies. Mm-hmm. When the people actually kill them. Yeah. I've always liked that.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Good. And the other girl gets killed with the remember, she fucking kind of seduces the monster. She's hanging out by that fan.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Oh, I'll do anything for you," and she's fucking hot. I mean, she's the hottest chick in the film. Right. So, and then actually, what does happen? I know what happens. Here's what I don't get. He gets closer to her. All of a sudden, she reaches back, and she has some type of dagger or some type of. Where the fuck did that thing come from?
I guess. Who knows? Maybe she took it from that little boy's room. The fucking the weaponry that kid has. Who knows? She probably had a chainmail mesh underneath her fucking shirt.
There you go. She came prepared just in case. They're high. They're fucking paranoid. Let's bring a weapon in here just in case some shit should go down.
My dagger, because people use daggers all the time.
Right. So whatever the fuck it was, she stabs him in the back when he's getting close to her and wants to romance her. And then, what the fuck does he do after that? He kills her. I think he just strangles her. And I think you hear a neck snap, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah,
I hope I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
But I do remember some type of... Neck snaps, to me, they always kind of resonate with me. I like that sound, and when someone gets killed by that,
It's like taking a carrot and then... I'm a Foley artist in my other life.
But that's good. So let me think. Who else got killed? So we're thinking of the one boyfriend. We know he got cut. He got hung. The girl gets killed with whatever, the broken neck. Then there's the other guy who's with her.
I have no idea.
You're right. That is kind of forgettable, isn't it?
The last 20 minutes, I couldn't even tell you what happened, honestly. And I watched this probably 4 days ago, and it just didn't hold my interest throughout the whole thing. There's a lot of stuff that I liked, but by the time the actual killing and stuff like that starts, the action of it, I just kind of tuned out.
And I'll give you that, because that isn't groundbreaking shit, and it's run-of-the-mill, paint-by-number slasher shit. And it's just 4 people getting killed. Well, 3, because we have the heroine. And, I mean, I think that the atmosphere and the surroundings are definitely scary, because randomly things pop up, and you hear laughing and shit like that. You're in a funhouse. To me, if you put yourself in that situation... That's scary shit. I mean, not much scares me, but I put myself in that situation, and they're in that place, they can't get out, and all that shit's going on. You're being pursued by these 2, and that one's a freak with 2 faces. That's scary to begin with, and then you're in a place where all this shit's popping up randomly. Freaking, it's mechanical, but it still happens out of nowhere. Yeah. It's jump scare shit. I mean, I put myself in their shoes, and that's why it spooks me out. I'll tell you what. What do you think about the relationship between the father and the son? Does that remind you of another movie?
The one thing that comes to mind is Texas Chainsaw.
Thank you. That's what I was hoping for. Okay.
With, the Sawyers and the look what you did to the door.
Yes, exactly. And that's Tobe Hooper, and I thought that was kind of cool, that their relationship kind of mirrored the relationship between the oldest Drayton and Leatherface, in a way,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I didn't even think about that until you said it. Actually,
cool.
You know what I did think about was the, is it the father, or is it the announcer guy outside? One of the guys in this movie reminds me of a character out of Fight Club. You've seen Fight Club, right?
Many times. Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, when they're in the bar and they want to use the basement of the bar, and there's a guy there who's running the bar, and he's telling everybody to get out. You got to get out.
Yeah, Lou.
Yeah. No, not Lou. The other guy who is like the bartender there who's running it. He's got the big sideburns and the white hair. That's who the fucking father reminds me of.
You're right.
I could not stop thinking about it. Once he was on screen, I was like, man, I really want to watch Fight Club.
I can't believe wow, no shit. I can't believe you even made that connect, because, wow, all the times I've seen Fight Club, I never, now that you've mentioned it, and I'm picturing these 2 guys, they are similar.
Yeah.
Wow. But don't you think he did a great job when he was standing outside the FunHouse? I mean, he sold the part, right? When he was like, everyone else was happy and doing their thing, and he was like,
real menacing. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, they might have hired him. He might be in a real carny. They might have got him from a real place.
Yeah, they probably had a few real carnies in here. I mean,
obviously the background people, they had to be. I mean, but I thought he was really good in his role when he was out there, and all the shit that he was saying. It was scary to me. It sold it because I knew what was to come because I'd seen it before. But to me, he was scary. He did a great job there, and their relationship was good. But you know what? The final chase scene. I hear what you say about in between. When all that shit's going on and it's a little bit bland. And I agree it is. The only thing that saves it for me is the atmosphere and knowing that it's a scary-looking freak. But I think the final chase scene is pretty good compared to most slashers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, I'm already tuned out by then. I really don't even remember what happened, unfortunately.
No shit.
See,
wow.
this movie to me is, I mean, they're doing all these remakes, but they remake good movies. You know, My Bloody Valentine, you know, Nightmare, you know, all this shit. It's like, I think they should remake this movie, because I don't,
Sure.
you know, I mean, you're right, with the atmosphere and the location and stuff, there's so much that you can do with it, but for me, this movie just doesn't sell it in a way. I think that they could remake this and be successful.
I agree. That's you know what? I've thought about that a few times myself. That's a movie that could be remade. See, movies like that, I don't mind them remaking them because they're not necessarily classics. You know, remake something that's not one, like My Bloody Valentine. It's a classic to, you know, people like us, but to the average Joe, they never heard of the original My Bloody Valentine.
Sure, yeah.
Not that I'm waving a flag for that movie, because I'm not, but you know, I could see that being done.
Yeah, they're definitely not making remakes for us. No, they're making them for 17-year-olds and shit like that.
Oh, for sure. But how about that one scene with the girl, you know, the heroine, whatever the hell her name is, that we can't remember her names in this movie at all. Can you know anybody's name?
I have no zero people.
One person. Can you give me one person's name?
Yeah, Monster.
That I just gave you 20
you
minutes
told
ago.
me.
Right. So we have Monster, and neither of us know any character's
fortune
name.
teller.
Right.
and the drunk magician.
Right. Oh, wasn't that scene good though? Don't you think that was a
pretty
good trick?
That guy was drinking every 2 seconds.
It was a good ass trick though. Could you imagine going into like a little carnival like that? You don't suspect something that cool in a little carnival where
no, absolutely not.
Hey, is there a doctor in the house? And the lights go on, and you think the girl really got whacked, and hey, it's my daughter. That was kind of cool, I thought.
No, that was cool. I would have loved that.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because I thought that, see, little shit like that adds to the atmosphere. It seems kind of genuine, like it's a real carnival. And you know, a lot of times movies are made, and you're like, oh, that didn't really feel like, you know, the setting that it's in.
Yeah, you're right. You know, if they did remake this, they would have glossed over a lot of that and just gone straight to the action. So yeah, you're right.
I couldn't agree more. That's what I'm saying. This movie is definitely about atmosphere, as far as that goes, and it's unmistakable. They did it well. But the one scene when the girl sees her family on the outside and she's behind the fan and they can't hear her, that's good. That's dramatic. I mean, that's scary shit. They're right there and she's reaching out to them and she's trying to call, hey guys, I'm here. And, you know, they can't hear her because of the fan. I mean, I like that. Mm-hmm. You know, that reminds me of Twilight Zone, the movie, which I'm a big fan of. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, when he's waving, guys, I'm here, and he's in the he's going away to the concentration camp.
Yeah, that part always freaked me out.
Yeah, it's cool. You know, it's something that stays with me after the movie. That's a cool scene. But you don't remember the final scene at all, the final chase.
No.
You don't remember the freaking... you don't remember when she's running away and that ladder drops all of a sudden? She's sitting there, she's below. And she goes in his room, you know, where him and his father live. And she shuts the door, and all of a sudden, it's just like Jason in Part 2. The freaking hand comes out and comes through the door and freaking starts to unlock the knob. And she runs, and then she goes in this little back door. She goes downstairs, and you know, it leads to the below area. And now she's there, and all this shit's going off, like these little steam things and electronics and noises and shit. So she's freaking out. This freak is chasing her. Then all of a sudden, she's there, and this ladder drops out of nowhere. Boom, and you hear the thud. And freaking, sorry, I just smacked. You probably heard that on the mic, but she freaking smacks the ground. And next thing you know, this fucking freak jumps right down. And he's right in front of her. And what does he do when he sees her? He shrieks. He looks her right in the face and he goes, "Wah!" That's fucking scary to me. You know, some freak, some two-faced thing looking you dead in the eye, pursuing you, and he looks at you and he screams. You don't think that shit's scary?
I didn't this time, no. No, unfortunately, I guess not, because I don't even fucking remember it.
Fuck, you know what? When I first watched the movie, the only thing I really took from it was that chase scene at the end, And the
Right.
fact that this freak was, I put myself in her shoes, like I do in like some of the Friday the 13th movies and Halloween, and that's what that's what makes it scary to me. I put myself in her shoes, and it definitely freaks me out because it's this freakish looking. If I even saw that guy walking down the street or anywhere, I'd be afraid of him. Me personally, it's just fucking
Oh, sure.
comes the wrong
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
Now-
exactly.
This guy's already killed all your friends, and you're the lone survivor. That old classic slasher plot. You're the last person, and no one's gonna help you, and it's you. You have to escape this person, or you're dead. And not just that, he's chasing you, but then he meets you face to face, and he screams, and fuck. I mean, that's just who the fuck does that?
Carnies.
Yes,
the
carnies.
carnival lifestyle.
Right? It's fucked up. And that's all I took the first time I saw it was that the final chasing and him screaming always kind of fucking rubbed me the wrong way. Well, the right way. I mean, I got off on it. It was like, wow, that's fucking
Did you
scary.
pay $100 for it? Yeah, sure.
Very good. Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. What would you rate this movie then overall, 1 through 5?
1 through 5, I will give it a 3.
3. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not going to go too crazy. I liked it more than you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say it's something that it's not. It had its scenes that I enjoyed. The chase scene was good. The freak shit scares me. So, that holds weight with me. So, yeah, I'll give it a 3.
All right. I give it a 2.5. I guess I'll steal your 2.5 for Motel Hell because it's like I didn't hate it. Like you said, the atmosphere, location, it's all good, but by the time stuff starts happening, I kind of tuned out. So I can't really say that I liked it.
No, I understand that. You know what I wanted to ask you? There's something that's been bothering me for years. For years. And it not just has to do with this movie, but just in general about freak shows or fun houses. And I'm hoping that you can enlighten me. That fucking Mr. Wazell is going to freaking, do something here that no one's... I've asked, women I've dated this question. I've asked people this question many times. And
All right. I got the answer.
All right, I hope so. That'd be fucking fantastic. What a great start to the show. But this is something that I've never understood, and I've seen it in several movies in different situations, and it shows up in this movie. First of all, at the end of the movie, that little boy... No, it happens to the little boy earlier, but at the end of the movie, when the girl finally gets out, she looks up, and at the top of the house, at the top of the fun house, there's that electronical fat lady.
Right.
And she's laughing. Ho, 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 ho.
Yeah.
Then she slows down, and to me that's a little bit scary. Whatever. And she moves earlier for the kid, and that's also scary. And the kid had a lot of scary shit happen, throughout the movie. But whatever. That's another story. Anyway, here's what I want to know: why is a fat lady in a freak show? You know what I'm talking about, right? You've seen like cartoons and different shows and shit. What the fuck does a fat lady have to do with a freak show at all? And why is she always laughing?
Because she's jolly.
Okay, so she's a jolly fat bitch. What does that have to do with being a freak?
Well,
why is that a freak? Why is it never a man?
Here's the deal. You're looking at it from a 21st century eye bulbs and and that the whole traveling freak show, and the fat lady thing is probably, we're a fatter world these days, so it's not as freaky. I guess maybe a morbidly or obese person was freaky back in the day. I guess I don't know.
So you think that's it? It's just a sign of the times that. Why is it never a man? I mean, I can see the bearded lady. Yeah, that's fucking freaky. I don't want to see that shit. That bothers me too. But a fat lady, and they're always laughing, and they're always in this big fucking moo-moo type thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not nuts, right? You've seen this before on like cartoons, other movies and shit.
Absolutely.
Okay, and I've never got how that was a freak.
Because she ate the bearded lady. I don't know.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you have a point about it being a different century and women back then weren't fat.
Yeah.
I guess it was just a different society.
I don't know.
I don't know, but that's something I've always pondered. That's how fucked up I am. So I've always pondered that. And then when I started this movie, I'm like, you know what? When I do the show, I'm gonna fucking ask Wazell what's up with that shit. Maybe you got the answer. And,
no, unfortunately, I don't.
It's as good enough of an answer as anyone's ever given me, so that's fine. That's okay.
Yeah,
I can live with it.
So yeah, the fat lady was laughing, and now the fat lady's singing. So we're gonna get out of here and be back with something else.
Right on.
All right. Hey guys, this is Matt from BananaLaser, and I'm not here to make fun or talk about movies. I'm here to talk about something a little serious. And that's, if you're working for a traveling carnival, don't give hand jobs to a mutated carny. It might just end your life.
Well, welcome to the Terrordome.
All right, we are back, and thank you, Chuck D. That is right. This is the Terrordome.
Yes,
exclamation
sir.
point! Exclamation points! And what this is that we're going to take characters from your favorite movies, and we're going to pit them head to head, maybe ass to ass, I don't know.
Or ass to mouth if you're talking about Human Centipede,
We're going to pit them head to head in the Terrordome for a battle to the death. And we're going to see who's going to be victorious. This week, since we did Motel Hell and FunHouse, we're going to have Farmer Vincent. And I guess his name is Monster.
It's
from
true.
FunHouse.
It's Monster.
The only person's name that we know.
Right, correct. We're professionals here. Shit.
All right, so I mean, let's just start right off the top. I mean, with their physicality. Clearly, the Monster wins out in physicality, don't you think?
There's no way you can dispute that.
Yeah,
yes,
it's undeniable. I mean, he's got the freak strength. He's got the retard strength. You know?
Right, he's a fucking retard.
Like I said earlier, he's got that Victor Crowley strength. You know, maybe he was like a beta version of Victor Crowley. That
right?
Monster guy was, yeah.
Well, I'm sure Adam Green grew up watching the same shit we did, so
absolutely.
There's no reason why he wouldn't. He might have based that idea off that and a combination of Voorhees. Who knows?
Okay.
You know?
So that's a blow to Vincent, definitely, because there's no way a 6-year-old man is going to be able to compete with somebody with fangs.
This is true. Right.
All right. Then, okay, so then moving on, intelligence. I mean, intelligence is pretty swayed one way as well, don't you think?
That's for sure. Yeah.
I mean, you got a mongoloid freak, and then you have a guy who basically harvests humans and takes the time to do that. So I think he's got. I mean, they're both crazy. Don't get me wrong; they both got that going for them. But I mean, intelligence-wise, has to go to Farmer Vincent for that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't know how much pull that's going to get him, though.
No, but I mean, picture we're putting these two guys literally in a fucking dome and saying, okay, you two guys fight. This is this, and this. This is what we're going to do. Go at it. I mean, mental state, it probably would figure into the equation a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Luke Skywalker did defeat the Rancor monster in that pit with the giant bone. I mean, so
this is true.
There's still hope for I guess Vincent.
Oh, sure. And there's more to Vincent, and we're going to get into that next. But yeah, shit. This actually, when you first look at them, you're like, well, you think it's obviously going one way. But when we really, dive into the characters, and there's more to talk about, I think it's closer battle than, you might think at first glance.
Would you say that Farmer Vincent has God on his side?
Well, I would definitely say that the monster does not have God on his side.
Yeah, exactly.
Poor bastard.
He allowed him to be born. I mean, holy shit.
Right?
Fucking poor son of a bitch.
Right? Fucking straight freak. Oh my gosh.
Well, and you also got to look at it like Farmer Vincent. He's probably and maybe this is negative against him, but he's probably more relaxed because clearly that monster guy is not getting laid. I mean, he blew his load in 2 seconds.
Oh, poor bastard. Right.
So
yeah.
that might. What do you think? Is that more pro monster or pro Vincent? Because the monster guy, he's going to be more wound up and tense all the time. He's got to take that aggression out on somebody. I think that's a point for the monster.
Well, when you're looking at just brutality in this big fucking Thor type creature, just with no brains coming at you, it makes him more, angry and intense and he's fucking coming at you. But there is two sides to that. A guy that's getting laid, he probably has better, mental capabilities because he's getting laid. He's a little bit more relaxed, and if he's intelligent to begin with, the way we know Father Vincent to be. What I call him, Father Vincent?
Yeah, sure.
Sure, he's guest starring in The Exorcist. Okay. What the fuck? Father Vincent. What the fuck?
Well, the power of Christ is compelling him to kill people. So.
Holy fuck. Farmer Vincent, he's already has the intelligence on him. Maybe the fact that he's getting laid by a girl half his age who's not too bad looking, maybe he makes better decisions. Because think about it, when you're getting laid, don't you think that your mental capacities are better? Yeah, you're angrier when you're not getting laid. You have a little more rage going on, sure. But does fucking blind rage? How much does that help you in a fight compared to intelligence? That's a debate in itself.
I know when I don't get laid for about a week, I have to go out and kill someone.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I think, not getting laid is a lot worse. So, I guess the edge would have to go to the monster. Rage would fucking take over. I mean, he's never getting laid. I mean, not that he's in a dry spell. Dude's never gotten laid, and he finally had a shot to get laid. The fucker couldn't even wait.
He literally blew it.
Yeah. Yes, in more ways than one. Yeah. Absolutely, poor bastard. And then got taken for his money. And then pissed his father off. Oh, the guy's got a fucking a damn fucking grocery list of problems. Yeah. Oh, he's pissed off.
Yep.
Shit.
All right, so then you got to look at I would say weaponry, but I mean.
Well, yeah.
Do either of these guys? Oh shit! I'm forgetting the most important part. Farmer Vincent has chainsaw. Holy shit!
Yes, with a pig mask on. Yes. Yeah. Now, if he's allowed to use the chainsaw, does he have to put the pig mask on? Is that basically assumed?
Yeah. Judges. Yep. He's got to wear the pig mask. Yep.
I agree. I'm down with that. Now, does the pig mask hinder him? Because think about it, if you put a pig mask on, unless you cut the eyes out, which I don't believe he did.
Yeah, he's
First
not
of all,
seeing
we never
shit.
even touched upon that in the Motel Hell review. How the fuck could he have seen? He has a pig mask on. Did you see any slits cut at all? I can't believe we're not even thinking about this till now, right?
Yeah, he wasn't seeing. He was blindly swinging.
So he's blindly swinging, but he has a chainsaw. Think about that. I'll tell you what. It's not as obvious as it looks.
Huh. Yeah, that's wow. I don't know. I think we might have to give the point to the monster for that.
See one. The intangibles. Yeah. See.
And he's basically weaponless. I mean, he's just got his physicality. Maybe a noose. He's carrying that around, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's it. I mean, who does he actually kill? We don't remember how he killed the girl in the movie. Well, the girl stabbed him. and we don't remember how the fuck he killed him. He used a noose once. We don't remember how he killed the guy.
Right, yeah.
The second to last guy, we have no fuck. He threw the fucking whore, the palm reader, into electricity, and I think he did a similar thing with a guy. Actually, I can't be positive. Don't fucking quote me on it, but I think it was similar. Right. So the only weapon he could bring to the table is those fucking nasty hands and a noose and his teeth. And I guess he could fucking drool all over you.
He's gonna clog up your eyes and you can't see with his fucking drool.
He's gonna fucking drown your ass. I don't know.
Huh. All right, so wow. Okay. This is going a lot differently than I thought. He already got 3 points for the monster and 1 point for Vincent, just for the intelligence factor.
Yeah, that's all he has. You're right. Right.
Huh. I think that's. I mean, what else you got? I think that might be a clear-cut case right there.
I don't think there's anything else. Here's the one thing Vincent has going for him: the monster isn't too bright. So even if a blind man is coming at you with a chainsaw, think about if you were to fight a guy, and he has fucking. Let's say he's coming at you with a chainsaw. You have no weapons at all, but he's blind. Do you think you could defeat him with your hands? With all the rage in the world?
He's blind? Yeah, I think I can. I mean, I'm envisioning Michael Myers just aimlessly swinging.
At the end of part 2?
Yeah, exactly. It's like they could easily slink away. It's like he had no idea what was going on. I think yeah. I think if he's blind and just and here's the other thing too. He can't hear anything because he's got a chainsaw going. He's got a fucking mask on his head. He can't see. He can't hear. This guy's fucked.
You know what? You're right. Have you ever worn a costume on Halloween, like a mask that didn't quite fit you right, and like walk down the street on fucking Halloween night trick-or-treating or whatever, and just, you wear the mask because you think it's cool, but it's a real fucking big hindrance, and you're really, compared to everyone else, you're not really having a good time. You're happy because you got the mask on, but you're really not in the moment. You can't see shit. Has that ever happened to you?
No. But
it's happened to me several times.
Because I always choose to go for a maskless costume based on that, because I don't want to be on. I mean, I'll dress up as a lady before I put a mask on.
Are you fucking serious? You don't go out. You haven't gone out on Halloween with a fucking Jason mask on or a fucking Michael or any of that shit?
Nope.
Wow.
I mean, I'll dress up. Don't get me wrong, but wearing a mask over my head, no, I will not do that.
I've worn fucking more masks than I care to admit. I've worn more masks than fucking Leatherface.
You can, then you got to lift it up every time you want to drink a beer. Like, come on.
Oh, listen, it sucks. It sucks, but it's Halloween night. It comes once a year, and I'm all about that fucking shit. Yeah. Like last year, I went as Michael Myers for the first time ever in my 40 fucking years. Cool. I went as Michael Myers, and I took my daughter
from the remake.
No, I found an old school mask which looked pretty damn good considering for like $12 at Rite Aid. It was the strangest thing. I just kind of came across it, and at the time it seemed like a great idea. I'm like, you know what? Because you look at Myers masks, and most of the time they look like shit. I mean, let's face it. You don't see any that look like Shatner that have the part 1 look to them. This one looked pretty good. The hair wasn't perfect. It never is. And I said, you know what? For $12, I'm gonna wear this fucking thing. So I did, and of course it was cold, like it is every fucking Halloween in Buffalo. So but my daughter saw it, and she said, you got to do it. But yeah, she was sick. She's like, yeah, be Michael. Anyway, that's another story.
Well, that's just good parenting.
Oh yeah, it's great. I'm fucking top notch. So I wore this Michael mask, and I'm walking with her, and she's doing. And by the way, she was fucking Ghostface from Scream. So
what?
Yes, my little daughter. It's great because you see her in her fucking or was it kindergarten? Her kindergarten picture. You see all these children dressed up in all their little things and whatever the fuck. And my daughter has freaking Ghostface on as her mask. All right.
Wow.
Now, awesome. Don't get me wrong. She's never seen it. Oh, she doesn't know. I don't let her watch the movies. I made the mistake of showing her Poltergeist last year, thinking maybe she was at the age that she could handle it.
No, what? Because that's from a point of view of a child. Of course.
Well, it
that's
was
gonna
PG,
fuck
man. I go, what am I
up.
going
Oh, and you got that fucking clown, dude. Oh,
Well, the
my
clown,
God.
guess what? Nothing bothered her. The
Really?
only thing that bothered her, honestly, we're watching the movie, and at some point towards the end, she starts crying a little bit. And I said, baby, what's the matter? She said, is the little girl going to come back home?
Oh, gosh.
So that bothered her. The fucking ghosts, the clown, none of that shit fucked with her at all. I mean, me and my ex-wife, we're both huge horror fans, and she came up knowing the monsters, not from watching them. I used to have a really good collection, so she knows Freddy and Jason and Michael and all that shit by name, and she's always been a little bit attracted to scary shit, just like her parents, so it kind of makes sense. So, yeah, so she had the Scream mask on, and she said, be Michael. And I was Michael, and I'm walking around, I mean, just last year, I can't see a fucking thing. And, you know, I'm just trying to do the best I can and hold my daughter's hand and walk around, and I'm trying to stay in character just by keeping the mask on, you know. But that wasn't the first time it happened, and I don't think it's going to be the last time.
You know, that was more brilliant than you know, because it was, you know, Michael Myers is really like the father, you know, to Ghostface. And all that, you know, generationally.
Oh, now you're thinking fucking too deep. See,
Yeah.
There you go. That's true, though. It is. There's Michael, who started the whole fucking thing, and there's Scream. There's Ghostface, and you remember how they used to, you know, remember all that shit they did at the end of Scream 1 with Michael and blah blah blah, that whole story. So yeah, how about that? But that's what happened, and I couldn't see shit. But I left the mask on. My daughter was happy, and I did my thing. And you know, she's never seen Scream. All she's seen is the cover of my Blu-ray, and looked at it, and Daddy, what's that? That's Ghostface, baby. Okay. When Halloween rolls around, I want to be Ghostface. Okay. And fucking we roll. I think this year she's going a little more girly. We'll see. She's really into the fucking Little Mermaid right now, so she might go with Ariel, but she's been a devil, she's been Ghostface, so she's done some shit, you know. She's her daddy's, well, both of her parents were both into horror, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. But having a mask on, it's tough to do.
Yeah, so I think it's clear in this battle to the death that the monster is going to be victorious over Vincent. He's going to maybe rip him in half. That's what that movie needed. It needs a disembowelment or some limbs being ripped off by that guy.
I'll tell you what. Yes, if they would have had gore in it,
yeah,
it would have been a much better film. And you know what? Tobe Hooper really never does have gore in his movies.
No. Yeah.
So the kills, not at all. And I like Tobe Hooper. You know, you got TCM, and you got 2, and you got Funhouse, which I liked, and Poltergeist, and I even liked fucking the Toolbox Murders remake. It didn't bother me. It wasn't great, but I didn't mind it. Eaten Alive, I confess I've never watched it. So
yeah, I haven't seen that either.
Crocodiles and alligators, whatever the fuck they are, they just don't interest me. They don't scare me.
Yeah.
A two-faced man scares the fucking shit.
Yeah, you have a freak, you know.
That scares me more than anything. A guy with fucking 2 faces, fucking forget about it. But an alligator, a crocodile, all that shit does nothing. I don't care how big their teeth are. They just don't scare me.
All right, so I guess that kind of finishes that. Monster is definitely victorious. He's the winner.
Yeah, Monster. Right on.
And who knows? Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, we're all cheering for. Yeah, he's got to get something out of it.
Hey, a boy. Fuck yeah. He didn't even get laid, poor bastard. Give him some.
Yeah, so that's that. All right, assholes. Well, that was it. That was BananaLaser, and we had fun. I hope you had fun too. Me and Dave Z. We are here to please. So that's it. Dave, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, buddy. It's been a great time, and hopefully all the shows are as good as this one, because I had a blast, man. You know.
Oh yeah, I had a fun time too, and we'll see you guys next time. And until then, thought to ponder: do you think they're into animals? See ya.
Later, haters.